Okay, I have right here a PowerPoint that I'd just like to talk you through just to make sure that you're understanding it. It's starting off with a math review that hopefully you'll take a second to pause and try. It's good practice, but mostly I want to get through what we're doing. Okay, this is coordinate geometry. So just like what we were doing last week, where you're trying to take what you know about the different shapes, whether it's a square, a rhombus, and the definition of them, how many parallel lines it has, whether the sides are equal or not, whether they're perpendicular or not. You're going to take all that information and you're going to be able to do this on a coordinate grid with points and things like that. So some of the things you're hoping to be able to do is be able to find the distance, which we've done before in class, being able to do a distance formula, being able to use the midpoint formula, which is going to be provided anytime you need it. Um, the to be able to say whether lines are parallel or perpendicular. Um, and we're not going to worry about the last two right now. So for right now, let's go ahead and take a look at this. For this slope, if you remember how to count it out, this is review back to Algebra 1. You are looking at the rise over the run, so basically how much is it going up or down, that goes on top, and then how much it goes over, that goes on the bottom. So your example 1 slope, hopefully you've counted it out already, it should be -3 over 4. This other one, you no matter what points you go from, I'm going to go from the bottom 2 points. If I go from one to the other and I count up, it's going to be 1 over 1. If I go from ones that are farther apart, like the middle two, it'd be 2 over 2, but it still reduces to 1. So whatever 2 points you find whenever you're using slope, you want to try to reduce it to the simplest form. Okay, you can also do this if it's not graphed in front of you. If you're just looking at points, you can do it mathematically. If you're looking at the formula, you're taking the y's and you're saying what's the change in y. So from going from 7 to 4, that's going down 3. So on the top I would put -3, and going from 0 to -8, I'm going I'm going -8. So I would be -3 over -8, which reduces to 3/8. That would be the slope. Okay, for this one right here, whenever you're finding the distance of 2 points on a coordinate grid, you can use the distance formula or the Pythagorean theorem. They're basically the same thing. Um, when it's a flat line like this, it makes it pretty easy. You don't even need it. You just count the squares. But if it's anything like a slanted line like this, you can, let's say I'm trying to find the distance of this slanted line, I can kind of draw in or count what it would be going, what would be my slope of that line basically. The slope of this line would be going from 12 to 3, which is down 8, or no, sorry, down 9, and from 3 to 10, down 9 and over 7. So if I'm putting that into the Pythagorean theorem, it's going to be the square root of my two numbers, 9 squared plus 7 squared. That's basically what it is. Okay, that's basically this distance formula. The distance of your x's, how far over is it going, squared, how far up is it going, squared, and you add them together and you take the square root of it. Just a quick refresher. Okay, so if you're looking here and you want to find the distance of these points, even without graphing them, you can do this. You can see from -3 to 1, that's going over 4, and from 3 to 2, it's only going down 1. So you're taking the 4 and the 1, it would be the square root of 4 squared plus 1 squared, which would be 16 plus 1, which is 17. The square root is 17, which is going to be 4 point something. Okay, for C, you're going, the change in x's is from 1 to -3, that's a distance of 4, so you're doing 4 squared. From 2 to 0, that's a distance of 2, so that's 2 squared, and 4 squared plus 2 squared, that's 16, and 4 is 20, so it'd be the square root of 20 would be the distance, and if you do that on the calculator, it's going to give you something like, again, 4 point something. Let's look at E. E is going a distance of 3 and a distance of 1, so that would be 3 squared plus 1 squared, which would be the square root of 10. Okay, that's just basic introduction with your distance formula and remembering how to find slope, because those are the two things that you're going to need to be able to carry out any one of these activities this week. Okay, if you have any questions, you can always message me and I can do a video chat with you. I've had a few of you take advantage of that, and I'm glad to help.